Law's grand stage, where justice takes centre stage, the courtroom, a solemn space. A stage where human drama unfolds, lawyers the players, the law their script. Judges preside, referees in suits, lives hang in the balance. Justice is the ultimate prize. From ancient trials by ordeal to modern courtroom battles, law has always been a performance. It thrives on spectacle, on the power of words, on the weight of evidence presented with theatrical flair. Legal battles, much like theatrical productions, rely on suspense, intrigue, and the clash of opposing forces. The courtroom itself is designed to heighten this drama. The elevated judge's bench, the somber wood panelling, the jury box set apart, all contribute to an atmosphere of gravity and consequence. This is a stage where every word, every gesture, every piece of evidence is scrutinized under the harsh spotlight of justice, but the theatricality of law extends far beyond the courtroom walls. It permeates every aspect of the legal system, from the drafting of legislation to the execution of justice. It is in the grand pronouncements of legal principles and the intimate stories of individual struggles. Law, at its core, is a story we tell ourselves about right and wrong. And like all good stories, it is best told with a healthy dose of drama.
March 1933, the Great Depression grips America, banks crumble, panic spreads, enter Franklin Delano Roosevelt, newly inaugurated president. He faces a nation on the brink. His response, a dramatic legal maneuver, the bank holiday. Roosevelt declared a nationwide bank holiday, closing all banks for 4 days. This unprecedented act, authorized by a hastily passed law, was pure legal theater. It was a bold gamble, a high-stakes play to restore confidence in the American banking system. The closure itself was a dramatic event. Bank doors slammed shut, people lined up, worried about their savings, the nation held its breath. Roosevelt in his fireside chats played the role of the reassuring leader, explaining the situation in simple terms. The bank holiday worked. By the time the banks reopened, the panic had subsided. People, reassured by Roosevelt's decisive action, began depositing their money again. The banking system stabilized. The bank holiday stands as a testament to the power of law, used theatrically, a dramatic act that saved a nation from financial ruin.
Law often deals in fictions. These are not lies, but rather legal constructs, ideas treated as real to achieve a practical purpose. One such fiction is the concept of eligible paper in banking. Eligible paper refers to certain high-quality assets that banks could use as collateral for loans from the Federal Reserve. During the Great Depression, this fiction played a crucial role in stabilizing the banking system. The problem was, many banks had assets that were anything but eligible. They were laden with bad loans and depreciated assets. Recognizing this, the Federal Reserve chose to look the other way, accepting even dubious assets as eligible paper. This act of legal fiction, a kind of collective suspension of disbelief, allowed the Federal Reserve to inject much-needed liquidity into the banking system. It was a performance, a carefully crafted illusion that helped prevent a complete financial meltdown. Legal fictions highlight the performative nature of law. They demonstrate how legal concepts, even those seemingly grounded in objective reality, can be manipulated and staged to achieve desired outcomes.
Section 4. Rituals of the law, symbolic acts of power. The law is replete with rituals, symbolic acts that reinforce its authority and power.
Consider the sealing of legal documents with wax, a practice dating back centuries. The act of melting wax, carefully dripping it onto the document, and pressing a seal into the cooling wax was more than just a method of authentication.
It was a performance, imbuing the document with an aura of solemnity and permanence. The seal itself, often bearing the insignia of a monarch or a state, served as a visible reminder of the power behind the law.
The breaking of the seal, conversely, signified a transgression, a challenge to the established order. Even today, echoes of these rituals persist.
The swearing in of witnesses on a Bible, the banging of the gavel to call a court to order, these are not mere formalities. They are theatrical gestures designed to command respect and emphasize the gravity of the legal process.
These rituals remind us that law is not just about rules on paper. It is about the performance of power, the creation of a shared understanding of authority and legitimacy.
Section 5. The courtroom as stage lawyers, as actors, juries, as critics. The courtroom itself is a stage. The lawyers, the actors, the jury, the audience, and ultimately the critic.
A trial unfolds like a play, with opening statements, presentation of evidence, cross-examinations, and closing arguments. Lawyers, like skilled actors, must know their lines, command their presence, and connect with their audience, the jury.
They use language, tone, and body language to persuade, to sway the jury's opinion in their favor. Evidence is presented with theatrical flair, each piece carefully chosen for its dramatic impact.
Witnesses are coached to deliver their testimonies with clarity and emotion. The courtroom becomes a theater of emotions, where stories of guilt and innocence, justice and injustice are played out before the watchful eyes of the jury.
The jury, like theatre critics, observes, analyses, and ultimately passes judgment. They are tasked with separating fact from fiction, weighing the evidence presented, and determining the credibility of the actors before them.
Their verdict, the final act in this courtroom drama, determines the fate of the accused.
Section 6. Legal rebels, playwrights of their own destinies. Throughout history, individuals have used the law not just to seek justice, but to stage dramatic acts of rebellion and change.
They have challenged the status quo, using legal means to fight for their rights and expose injustice. Think of Rosa Parks refusing to give up her seat on a segregated bus, an act of defiance that sparked the Montgomery bus boycott and helped fuel the civil rights movement.
Or consider Nelson Mandela, who used his trial for sabotage and other crimes to deliver a powerful indictment of apartheid. These individuals understood the power of law as theatre.
They knew that their actions, played out on the public stage, could galvanize public opinion and force societal change. They were not just passive recipients of the law, they were active participants, shaping its course through their own acts of legal rebellion.
Their stories serve as a potent reminder that the law is not static or immutable. It is a living, breathing entity, constantly evolving through the actions of those who dare to challenge it. Section 7. Conclusion. The enduring drama of law. Law is a performance. It is a grand drama played out on the stage of human affairs, where the stakes are high, the emotions run deep, and the outcome can be life-altering. From the solemnity of the courtroom to the symbolism of legal rituals, from the legal fictions that shape our understanding of justice to the individuals who dare to use the law as a tool for change, law continues to captivate and inspire. As we navigate the complexities of the legal system, let us remember that we are not just spectators in this grand theatre of justice. We are all actors, playwrights and critics with the power to shape the course of law and write our own legal dramas. The stage is set, the curtain rises, let the drama unfold.